Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am honestly so excited to be with you today because we're going to be diving into something that fundamentally changes how you view, well, literally everything. We all walk around every single day kind of just assuming the reality we experience is the natural order of things, right? We think the rules we follow, the goals we chase, the way we interact are just baked into the universe. But what if they aren't? What if almost everything you consider normal is actually constructed piece by the society you live in? Today, we're setting the stage to explore exactly how our shared reality is actually built.
So think about this for a second. What does success mean? I want you to genuinely check your own baseline assumption here. If someone asked you that right now, what's your immediate reflex? For some of us, success is, locking down a stable, respectable government job with a rock-solid pension. For others, it's the thrill of building a massive, highly profitable business. And then for some, it has absolutely nothing to do with money or status at all. Success just means finding peace, health, and happiness in your daily life. So which of these answers is the objectively correct one? Well, the fascinating truth is, none of them are independently correct. The answer you just thought of wasn't born with you. It was handed to you by your environment.
Let's dive a little deeper into this. What's considered normal is completely relative depending on where you're standing in the world. Imagine just greeting someone. Over in Culture A, you go in for a firm handshake. But take that exact same behavior to Culture B, and a handshake might be super weird. You're actually expected to bow. Or think about how you speak. If you speak loudly in Culture A, people might look at you and see a confident, assertive leader. Take that same loud voice over to Culture B, and suddenly, you're viewed as incredibly rude and disruptive. So, who decides which is the right way to act? Is it written into the laws of physics? No way. It is entirely decided by society.
All right, here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, defining our shared reality. Second, the architects of constructionism. Third, 4 pillars of the theory. Fourth, everyday examples in action. And fifth, why researchers use it.
Okay, let's jump right into Section 1, defining our shared reality.
Social constructionism. It's a bit of an academic mouthful, but it's basically the theory that people develop their understanding of the world through social interaction and shared experiences. The absolutely crucial point here is this. We aren't born knowing what's polite. We're not born knowing what's successful or respectful. We learn these meanings through a constant, never-ending feedback loop with our parents, our teachers, our friends, the media, the whole shebang. And here's the kicker. Over time, these learned meanings become so deeply ingrained and familiar to us that we literally forget we learned them. We just accept them as absolute reality. Moving right along to Section 2, the architects of constructionism.
Picture it. The year is 1966. This is when the theory of social constructionism really burst onto the scene. 2 sociologists, Peter Berger and Thomas Luckmann, published a now famous book called The Social Construction of Reality. And they put forward a pretty radical argument for the time. They said, hey, reality isn't just the static thing existing out in the universe, waiting to be discovered. Instead, reality is continuously created and then recreated by all of us, every single day through our everyday interactions.
And think about how brilliantly this illustrates their point. Picture the classroom you grew up in. One person stands at the front, and they're the teacher. The rest sit at desks, and they're the students. Nature didn't create these roles. You're not going to find the biological imperative for a homeroom teacher anywhere in human DNA. Society literally just made these roles up out of thin air to organize learning. But generation after generation has accepted these made-up roles so completely that today, walking into a classroom and seeing a teacher and students feels totally natural. It feels like a fundamental law of the universe.
Which brings us to Section 3, 4 pillars of the theory. Let's break this massive concept down into 4 easy-to-digest pillars. 1. Meaning is created through interaction. 2. Language shapes reality. 3. Different people create different meanings. And 4. Society influences behavior. Let's walk through these one by one. Starting with pillar number 1, meaning is created through social interaction. Think about the money in your wallet right now. A physical banknote is really nothing more than a mix of paper, cotton, and ink. So why on earth would you trade hours of your hard work just to get your hands on this specific paper? Because society collectively agrees that it has value. If tomorrow every single person on Earth just stopped accepting that banknote, it would instantly become worthless paper again. Its entire existence as money only works because of our shared agreement. We see this with marriage, graduation ceremonies, traffic lights. They only mean something because we all agree they do.
And that brings us to the second pillar: language shapes reality. Language isn't just some passive way to communicate, it's an active tool that builds our world. Take the internet, for example. 20 years ago, people were definitely experiencing toxic, harmful behavior online, but there wasn't a widely used common term for it yet. Today, we use words like cyberbullying or digital abuse. By literally inventing these words, society created a way for us to physically shape our understanding of that reality. Having the vocabulary allows us to recognize it, discuss it, pass laws against it, and process it.
Now, pillar 3 is where things get really fascinating. Different people create different meanings. Imagine two students get the exact same essay back from their teacher. The teacher has written the exact same 3 words on both: "You can improve." Student A reads this, feels seen by their teacher, and is incredibly encouraged to work harder. Student B reads those exact same 3 words, feels like a total failure, and becomes deeply discouraged. The words are the same, the teacher is the same, but multiple realities exist here because each student interprets the world based on their own unique background, their current emotional state, and their past experiences.
Which leads us straight into the fourth pillar: society influences our behavior. Think about a toddler. They don't naturally know they're supposed to say please and thank you. They don't inherently know how close to stand to someone when talking. This continuous stream of learning comes from everywhere: family, school, friends, religion, the media, their broader culture. It's this complex web of societal influences that gradually, day by day, shapes a child's beliefs, their behaviors, and ultimately, the very reality they'll inhabit as an adult.
All right, let's get practical. Section 4, Everyday Examples in Action.
Imagine a high school kid bringing home a really low grade on a math test. If that happens in family A, the parents might immediately say, "This is unacceptable, you need to work harder, this determines your entire future." The reality in that house is instantly one of stress and high stakes. But if that exact same low grade is brought home in family B, those parents might say, "Hey, it's okay, grades aren't everything, let's just focus on what you learned." The event itself, the low grade, is identical, but the meaning attached to it by the different families creates 2 entirely different lived realities for those students.
Here's another incredibly relatable one: social media. Let's say you upload a photo. You get 100 amazing positive comments, but there are 2 highly critical negative ones. One person might look at those 2 negative comments, completely brush them off, and go about their day totally unbothered. Someone else might read those exact same 2 comments and feel sick to their stomach, getting upset for days, and letting it completely ruin their week. Again, the physical event is just text on a screen, but the meaning of that event depends solely on individual interpretation.
And that takes us to our final section, Section 5, Why Researchers Use It. Think about studying something like cyberbullying. If you approach it from a purely quantitative perspective, you're looking for objective numbers, right? You ask, how many students experience this? Is it 20%, 30%? That gives you hard data. But social constructionism drives qualitative research. A qualitative researcher looks at the exact same issue and asks, what did this experience actually mean to those students? How did they interpret it based on their family background? Rather than just hunting for one single objective number, constructionism allows researchers to dive into the messy, complex, totally subjective perspectives of real human beings.
And because it focuses so deeply on interpretation rather than just raw data, this framework is an absolute powerhouse in academia. It's widely relied upon in fields like education, sociology, psychology, and communication studies. Basically, any field that is trying to untangle the complexities of why humans do what we do and how we understand our lives leans heavily on the principles of social constructionism.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on. How many of your beliefs and opinions are truly your own, and how many have been intricately shaped by the people and society around you? It's a heavy question, isn't it? The next time you feel absolutely certain about what is normal or what is the right way to live, maybe take a step back and ask yourself, who built that reality for you? Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep questioning the world around you, and